Hi, beloveds. Welcome back to my channel. This is Divine Empress, your Fulani sister. I believe that we have a collective purpose. We might have been sent individually with each of our missions, but in the grand schemes of things, we are all part of the same puzzle. All of us are pieces in that puzzle, so the purpose is collective. When you do for yourself, you're doing for everybody else. So whatever we do is affecting everything else on this planet. So choose to make an impact positively on this earth. Whether we believe it or not, whether we perceive it or not, we impact things directly and indirectly. Let's say, for example, in a home, you have family members. When you take care of yourself, you show up better for yourself and you show up better for them. When you are happy and fulfilled and content, people can see that. When you bring that kind of energy, you're a much better person to be around. And when you bring that type of energy, you're encouraging others as well. Don't underestimate self-care. Don't underestimate taking care of you, because everything has to start with you first before it goes for anybody else. If you want to be there for other people and impact people, you have to be that first. You have to embody what you're trying to tell people. Maybe some of you watching, you are now parents. I've spoken to people who became parents, and they're like, a lot of the times they remember what they seen their parents do more when they what they heard their parents say. Sometimes you are with people and you don't know how you're influencing them. You might speak to somebody, and because of your kindness, you have released something in them. You have encouraged them for that day. You can do things and say things that you might feel like is meaningless, but it will mean something to somebody. Smile. If you smile at somebody, maybe that's what they needed. That warmth, that courage. You might have felt like giving somebody a hug, or maybe you stopped to talk to somebody, or anything at all. You can impact people in any way, shape, and form, whether you know it or not. But sometimes, before you can benefit others, you have to benefit yourself. Because however you're feeling, it's going to reflect in the way you behave. You don't have to speak for people to know what's going on. They can see it by just looking at you, the aura and the presence that you have. Think about what type of impact and influence that you want to have in this earth. You're influencing people around you. It doesn't matter the age and whether you're conscious of it or not. And people influence you as well. We are products of our environments, they say, right? And sometimes you might think something is not influencing you, and later you start doing or saying something and you try to remember, like, why am I saying this? Where did I get this from? Where did I get this from? Maybe you passed by something briefly and you didn't think much of it. And now, because of what you saw, you're thinking about it. Maybe you saw a certain person look a certain way and now you start to question yourself. Or maybe because of something you saw and now it's encouraging you and giving you an idea about something. Just like how others have the power of impacting you and influencing you, you can do that too. If you're a parent, you are the first role model to your child. If you're a female, you are the first example of what being a female is to your daughter. You are the first experience that they will have with whatever gender. If you're a male too, you are the first example to your son about what it's like to be a man, and what is like to be, what it's like to be a man. And you are the first example to your daughter as well of what interacting with the masculine energy, interacting with the masculine is supposed to be like. What do you want to teach your children? Do you believe in something and you want to pass down your faith? How much of your faith do you really know? Do you know enough to confidently teach somebody else about what you believe in? Do you truly believe in what you believe in? If you're getting ready for something like, let's say, for example, marriage, do you know your values? Do you know your worth? Do you know your belief system? Because if you're going to get into something like that, then you should be finding a partner that aligns with who you are and the things that you believe in. But if you don't know that, then what are you looking for? If you don't know yourself and you don't know what you want, what you believe in, then what are you looking for? Can you ask for something that you don't know? You want to ask for things, but you don't even know what you want. What aspects of you do you want to share with the world? What things you want to be remembered by. I personally like to believe that all of us have a duty and responsibility for the next generations. The things that we bring in now will affect not only us, but affect those who come after us, just like the things that those before us have dealt with and left behind. Oh, it still affects us. The things that they overcame, we're benefiting from the things that they overcame. But we're also affected by the problems and things that they didn't get to complete or that they even brought into the world. It's the same way we have an impact in the next generation. If we individually can each think about what we want to bring to life, it would benefit us, because whether we like to believe it or not, we do affect things and we have the power to affect change. Whatever we feel like needs to be improved in this world, whatever we grew up with, maybe in our families, maybe the generational things that we seen that we don't want to pass down, we don't agree with. Let's heal from that, and then rewrite the stories in our generational bloodlines, in the traditions of our families. Rewrite the things that are not good, that we know is not good for the next generation. Let's break cycles and create new realities for ourselves and for the next generation. We don't have to just completely sacrifice ourselves for the well-beings. We can also experience joys. We can break those cycles and start our new beginnings now. Whatever age you are, don't give up on yourself. Because I hear a lot of older people be like, oh, their time is up. Now they just got to leave it to the next. No. If you got to a point to where you have realized that something has been wrong, then that's something telling you to correct it. Correct it right now in your reality. Live the life. Push to always live the life that you've always dreamt of, no matter how old you are. If you had the dream to travel, now that you have come to that realization and that maturity and you of the things of your life, still live, still make it a purpose, a point to live that dream. Make sure you travel. If you had that dream to study, make sure you do that, because somebody is always watching, whether you realize it or not. If you still live out your purpose, maybe somebody in your life, somebody in your family is going to be encouraged, like, okay, if this person can do it, I can do it too. Sometimes people are suffering because of lack of representation, lack of having proper mentors and guidance in their lives. Some people grew up without parental guidance, proper parental guidance, at least a healthy one. Because sometimes you can have parents and not have parental figures. If you get it, you get it. You never know what you live in life authentically and living life as you're supposed to. You're not giving up can do for somebody else. Representation is a big thing. I remember watching this Blasian family on YouTube, and this little girl went to this gymnastic place, and seeing a black person there did so much for her as a mixed person, because she probably was used to seeing other races a lot. And I was listening to a podcast as well, and this guy, he said that when he was younger, he used to, have one of those struggle meals. He was make what would be considered quote unquote struggle meal. But he was watching someone who was speaking about how he was also in that position before, where, those were the kind of meals basically that he that he used to have, that he could afford. But now, you know, his life has changed so much that, now he's in a place where he's living life comfortably. And what that guy was basically saying was that seeing that man basically make it to the other side made him feel like he didn't have to stay where he was, that it was possible for someone like him to also have a different life. Because, some of us are in environments where life is tough. Life is tough for a lot of people in our lives and in our neighborhood. Maybe you live in a space that there's a lot of poverty mentality, And it is not without reason, because people have experiences that have made them to think the way they think. So we give grace because sometimes the mindset is because of what people have been through. You're in an environment that in any way that you look, it doesn't make it seem like there's anything else. There's nothing else there. But maybe you have access to social media and you're seeing people of your same skin type doing different things. And now you're hearing about people of the same background doing things that you never knew possible. Take that as a sign that it's possible for you to live your dreams. It's possible. Whatever you're thinking of doing, even if it doesn't look like you can do it, keep that desire going because there are people who have done it. And as you push yourself, you could be the answer for everybody else. You could be that chosen person in that community, in that household, in that family to make it so that you can come back and free the other people. You never know how far you can go with the power of faith, with the power of belief. Believe like a child. Remember those shows when you were younger that used to tell you that it only takes faith, it only takes believing in order for you to do something. Don't let your space, your mindset, and your current situation limit you into believing that that's all there is. There is something else. When you watch these movies and shows, you see people living a different life from you. That means that there is something else. And if you're listening to this, this is probably a reminder to you. If it's resonating, that there is something more. Something is telling you that there's more. Don't accept just what it is right now. You will get to the other side. You can get to the other side, and you can be the answer to someone else's prayer. Somebody else that needs encouragement, motivation. Somebody else that needs to see an example that it is possible. Sometimes you don't have to speak to influence somebody, to motivate somebody. Them just seeing you, living your truth, can enlighten something in them to also make them understand that it is possible for them. Sometimes the most influential things are not the things that are loud, and are not the things that are spoken, because change has to happen within. You can't make somebody see things that they don't want to see or they're not ready to see. Sometimes helping people just means being. Maybe being around them, or just being me, being yourself. Sometimes making an impact doesn't mean forcing somebody to believe and see things in a certain way. It's just allowing them to be and praying for them. And in the divine timing, they will awaken to whatever they're meant to see and meant to know and meant to do. If doing it for yourself doesn't encourage you, think about others. If you have children, what legacy do you want to live for your child? What do you want your child to learn from you? What have you learned from your experience that you don't want to pass down? The change has to start with you. Don't think that it has to be somebody else. Don't be like now you're going to give up and you're going to hope that your child will do it instead. You're going to hope that someone else will do it instead. While you're still here on this earth, it is still your job too. It is still your calling too. To make your mark, to contribute something in this world. You can do it. Do it in your own way. It doesn't mean you have to do something loud. Just living in your truth is enough. Just living the life that you dreamt of is enough. Just pursuing and not giving up on yourself is enough. You just being you, it's enough. Show up for yourself. Take accountability for your life and take action. Faith is a partnership. You believing that things can happen for you. Ignite something spiritually to make things move on your behalf, but you have to move. This is the realm of free will. Without your consent, without your participation, things will not manifest. Even if you believe in God, you have to partner with God. If God is showing you places and things that are meant for you, you have to believe and you have to do the work. You want to get a job at a particular place, and God is like, okay, this job is yours. But you still have to get up and fill out the application and do that resume, you still have to be the one to go to the interview. It is spiritually granted to you, but you have to show up for it. You have to get up and go to work, and you have to, when you're there, you have to participate and do things. Whatever you want, whatever you're trying to get at, if you want to do something, it's going to require participation on your part. It's faith with works. Believing in God, believing in whatever you believe in is a partnership, is a relationship. You have a role to play. Play your role. That is not to say you have to be perfect with everything. You just have to be willing to move. You have to show up. And as you show up, life will show up for you and align things for you to get to where you need to get. But it's possible. Just wanted to I wanted to encourage you, encourage myself, encourage somebody that it is possible. Whatever you want, it is possible. You got this. As always, I am your number one cheerleader, rooting for you. I love you so, so, so much and wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. These messages are also first and foremost to me, and I put them out in the hopes that it will benefit and resonate with somebody. I'm sending you peace, love, light. I love you. You are divinely loved, divinely guided, divinely provided for. You got this.